Well, good morning everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Hey, this morning we're going to remove the seat spacers, which in this case what I used were just some washers and longer bolts in the back of the Tacoma here, actually on the back of the front seats of the Tacoma here. Now, the reason this was done, if you hadn't seen prior videos, was to level out the seat a little bit so that you weren't sitting so far back in it. Well, now that I'm looking to trade this in on the 2020 Tacoma, I'm putting it back to stock, and I thought we ought to have the seat position adjusted back to stock as well. So, I'm going to show you what I've got back in here, how to take these out. Obviously, if you're looking to do this mod, it's just the reverse, but I'll leave a link right here so that you can see how I did it if you're interested in doing this. And also, we're going to take a look and see how the washers and everything looks. Was there any stress put on them? I don't see how, but we're going to check that too. And all you need to do this is just a simple socket set, some washers, and some longer bolts. Again, check out that previous video if you're interested in seeing how that was done. So let's go ahead and get in the back of the Tacoma here and remove these and put it back to the way it was when it was first born. Okay, first things first, when I took the original bolts out, I actually stored them inside the truck just in case I ever wanted to go back to the OEM setting. So they're down here in the handy little storage compartment right here, and you notice I marked them. I don't know if you can read that, but it says front seat rear bolts seat raise mod, so that I would know what I was doing. So we have those nice and handy, and I am using again the OEM bolts. Okay, we got everything set up down here. I've got the socket, by the way, at least for the bolts that I put in, it's a 17 millimeter. We'll see if it's the same for the OEM bolts. I kind of think not. We already removed the cover over here. This cover comes off pretty easily. You just kind of spread it and pull it off. It's pretty simple. It's just it just sits on there, so not too complicated. We'll set that underneath. So we need to take both bolts out, so let's go ahead and do that. Again, this is a pretty simple procedure. So go ahead, loosen that one up. Loosen this one up. Oh, had that one nice and tight. If I recall, the one over here on the left was a lot tighter fitting, if you will, than the one on the right side. This one seems to be threaded all the way so far. Make sure we're coming up. We are. Get this to a point there. Wow, we got it all the way out. These are the bolts that I used. You guys can see they are an 8.8 JDF, for whatever that means. So we'll set that one aside. I did put a washer on top. We'll set that aside. Let's take the right side out of here. Okay, again, the bolt and the washer. Set that aside. Now, we should just be able to tilt the seat up a little bit and pull those washers out and then reinstall the OEM version. So, let's push the seat up just a little bit, like so. Get our washers out of there. Here's the driver's side. Nice little pile. Let's get the passenger, or the right side, if you will. And I'll show you guys how many I used here in the end and what the measurement was. But now we should just be able to come straight back down. And I don't know if you can see, but the hole over here on the... Let me get the camera a little better for you. There. The hole over here on the left side is a little bit off. It's not perfectly lined up, so we actually have to tilt the seat or push the seat this way a little bit to get that bolt back in. Let's go ahead and grab the OEM bolts. There we go. This is what the OEM looks like. Just your normal bolt. Now let's see if it is indeed a 17, and it's not. So we need a smaller bolt. Try a 14. It is a 14 millimeter. So the OEM bolt size is 14 millimeter. So now all we have to do is go ahead and put these back in. Like I said, I do need to pull the seat a little bit because it doesn't line up perfectly, and it didn't before, and that's why that first bolt was a little difficult to get off. So we are going to muscle the seat over here a little bit. There we go. Go ahead and get that bolt started in there, so it's, because it's going to want to pull back over when I let go, of course. There, that's pretty good. Now let's go ahead and get the right side in, and that one lined up pretty good if I recall. Yeah, it's a little tight in there for the same reason. A little push and it fixed it right up there. Again, it was that way when I started. It was nothing that I did in this mod. So let's go ahead and tighten these down. Again, we don't want to strip them, so I'm just going to get them good and snug. Maybe a little past snug. And that's it. That's all we're going to do. So let me go ahead. We'll put the covers back on, and then we'll take a look at the washers. Show you what I did there. I'm not going to show you the other side here because it's the exact same procedure, but I am going to take them out of the passenger side as well. Let's get the camera back. It keeps wanting to drop down for some reason. There we go. So now we have to put the covers back on. Again, the truck needs to be swept, that's for sure. Ugh. They just slip underneath. Let's see. Like that, and that's it. These little tabs just slip. I'll show you this. These little tabs right here just slip underneath the bracket, and that's all you have to do. So let's go ahead and slide this one back on. Like so. That's it. That's all it takes. It's pretty simple. So let me go ahead and get the floor mat back down. We'll get the other side changed out, and then I'll come back on here and show you the washer setup that I used, in case you're interested in doing this. Okay, we're done. Sweating to death. All of the spacers are out from the two front seats. So those of you out there who were concerned, it's now back to stock. No more spacers in the front seats. I want to point you down here, show you guys what I've got. There were 14 washers used for each side, or each leg, let's say. So 14 or 28 per seat, and then a bolt for each one, obviously. So let me turn you around and I'll show you the measurement that got me by doing it that way. These are the washers. They're just a UAE, it's stamped washer. There's my finger. You can get an idea of the size of them, I guess. I have a normal sized finger, I think. So let's turn you around. I've got my tape measure out here for you, and I'm going to show you. The camera focuses. There we go. You can see I'm almost exactly dead on 1 inch. I might be one washer short of excuse me, 1 inch maybe. I don't think so. So what I had added to my truck was, in essence, 1 inch lift in each seat. So some might say that, well, you know, you have a 3.2 ready lift on the truck. So now I actually got an extra inch lift. I don't know, at least perspective from when you're sitting in the seat. Anyway, the reason I had done that, I'll reiterate, was to raise the back of the seat up. It sits kind of down like this being the front, this being the rear. and it kind of raised that up a little bit just to level it off. Made a huge difference to me, made a huge difference in the way that the truck felt. Also, it's kind of a side benefit, provided a better vantage point or view, perspective I guess, from the seat over the hood. I've had a lot of people comment, a lot of people really like this. Again, there have been some naysayers out there that talk about the bolt shearing or something in some kind of a major accident. I'll add a caveat to this. Only do mods that you're comfortable with. Never do a mod that you don't feel you're safe with or you're not comfortable with. Don't do anything that you're afraid of. Keep that in mind when you're doing any mod on your truck. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, show you guys the demodification of the seat spacers. The washers all look fine. None of them are bent. There's no deformation or anything of the washer, like there was some kind of added stress on them. The screws, the bolts, they all look fine. So in my opinion, there's no extra added stress, at least just from having these spacers in the truck. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. You guys that are the naysayers, I'm ready for you. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.